I haven't said anything about the election of Zoron Mondani. Partly because there's two issues here. Yes, he is a Shiite Muslim in some sense. I mean, I don't know that he would last long in Iran. Okay. So how Shiite are you if the Shiites would kill you in a Shiite country? But that's what he claims, and that's how he's getting support from, interestingly enough, both Shiites and Sunnis. But the main thing is the man is a communist. Now, no, he's not. He's a democratic socialist. Folks, the only difference between a democratic socialist and a communist is how they get to their final goal. The communist will shoot you to get there. The democratic socialist will corrupt the political system to get you there and then shoot you. That's the only difference. It's still government control of everything. Ownership of everything. No private ownership. He's talking about taking property away in New York City and giving it to the homeless and all the rest of this kind of stuff, as if they're going to maintain it and as if they're going to pay taxes on it. Just unbelievable. The man is a statist. The state is all in all to him. And he's the first to be elected, but he will not be the last. Because, and to my conservative brothers and sisters who have been, everything's changing and man, we're turning everything around and I'll never get tired of winning. I've had the same thought all along. The only way for us to win is to fundamentally change hearts and minds. The educational system in the United States is still completely owned, fully owned, run by, inhabited by, protected by ultra leftist, secularist nut jobs. I mean, I think more hair dye is purchased by teachers in the United States than in any other nation in the world. And it's purple, red, pink, and that's for the guys. Or if they are guys, they don't even know what they are. That's the point. We were so desperate for a sign that everything's turned around that you look at TPUSA and it's like, there we go, we're getting the young people. Well, what percentage of the young people is that? And even when you see good signs of people interested in family, faith, what percentage of the young population are they? Do we see birth rates rebounding, climbing, or are they continuing to fall rapidly? Do we really see evidence of what is necessary for any long-term improvement called repentance, a change in worldview? This kind of stuff. And everybody's like, no, we've got it now. Hey, one election is all it would take. And believe you me, these people that we cannot have a society with because they will not have it. They are absolute totalitarians. They're ethical and moral pygmies. And I mean in regards to, they don't even think about the implications of genetic manipulation, abortion, infanticide, everything. It's just not even part of their thinking. These folks, as soon as they get power back, the Constitution is done. It's finished. It's over with. They don't care about it. They sit there and do this number. What does this mean? In a secular worldview, what does this mean? It doesn't matter what you put this on. You could just have it standing in air. Swear by what? You're a stinking bag of chemicals. Swear? There's no transcendent value to any of that anymore. So they may swear an oath, but how could Zoron Mondani swear an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States? his entire worldview, both religiously and politically, says the Constitution of the United States is evil and must be overthrown. That's who he is. So how can he swear to uphold that? I cannot honestly see how a man like him could have held any public office of any level, dog catcher, school board member, in 1980. I don't think it could have happened. Couldn't happen. That's happening now. So, the line, I get back to this, the line that Mueller quoted this morning. Okay, here it is. Quote, and I've double-checked it. "We will prove that there is no problem too large for government to solve and no concern too small for it to care about." End quote. Want that again? Do you want to hear totalitarianism? You want to hear statism? Do you want to, if you listen real carefully, you'll hear the echoes of the voices of Mao and Stalin and Brezhnev, because they're the ones that said this long ago. Okay? "We will prove that there is no problem too large for government to solve and no concern too small for it to care about." Now, we sit here and go, some of us are old enough to remember when Ronald Reagan said the scariest words you ever hear is, I'm from the government and we're here to help. That's exactly right. And we all know the most ineffective way to address any problem is to let the government do it. We all know that. Look at SpaceX. Look at what SpaceX has done as a private company. They've made NASA obsolete. They're irrelevant as far as actual space exploration goes. Because they were just, they were great when they were the focus of defending the United States and beating the Ruskies and all the rest of that stuff. Then they turned into a woke, crazed, again, more purple and red hair type stuff. And now, if you want to get something in space, who are you going to get it up there for you? It ain't NASA. It ain't government programs. So we know this. We know that if you want to spend the maximum amount of money for the minimum amount of results, let the government do it. And here's Mondani. "We will prove that there is no problem too large for government to solve and no concern too small for it to care about." I really wonder if all these folks that keep the government out of my bedroom, there is no concern too small for it to care about? Wow. Sounds like that's big government. And of course, the bigger the government, the smaller the citizen. So, can you imagine Mondani with the next variant of COVID that comes sweeping across the plains and is killing grandma and everybody else in the process again? Can you imagine the lockdown? Can you imagine the governmental overreach? Yeah. So we literally, and yeah, I have to admit, you sit there and you go, okay, this is New York City, right? This is September 11th. But then you start thinking about it. That was 24 years ago. How many of the people that voted for Mondani were not even born? They never saw the Twin Towers. Never went up them. Never had any idea. Yeah. And those of us that were around, those of us who had been up the Twin Towers less than a year before they fell, like me, I remember over and over and over again, never forget. We will never forget. We will never forget. Never is about 20 years, give or take a few. So, yeah, can you imagine Mondani running in 2002, 2005? Nope, couldn't have happened. But it's happened now. And we have a democratic socialist, a.k.a. nonviolent communist, in charge in New York City, and that radical left, the Democratic Party has no morals left, has no backbone left, has no soul left. And so the left is taking it over. Chuck Schumer, he's done. He's done. He will not be elected to the United States Senate again. Ain't going to happen. He's done. They want Mondani's. That's what they want. And they're going to get them. And they're going to be smooth and handsome and good looking, just like the Bolsheviks were, up until the point of the violent revolution. And they took over and then they killed everybody. Because no one remembers anymore that the system of government and thought that he represents killed 120 million people last century. We don't care. It just wasn't applied right back then. Yeah, now we can use tech and AI to make sure to kill many more people than that. We won't miss anybody. Back then, they couldn't spy from the sky and make sure they controlled everyone's motions and movements and everyone's thoughts. But now we can. Yeah, it's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable to see what is going on.